What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to episode 238 of Swoop Luke. In this episode, we'll be previewing the huge, do-or-die game against the West Coast Eagles. So let's just jump straight into it. Just before we do jump straight into it, of course, follow me on all my social media accounts that I'll be putting up down below. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you are a returning super, welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining me. So now, let's just jump straight into this preview. So, the Eagles have had a bit of an up and down start to their season. They won their first match, lost their second match, won their third match, lost their fourth match. Their most recent loss coming against St Kilda. So we know that they were up by 33 points, and then St Kilda came back and just, I don't know, West Coast just fell asleep at the wheel, I guess, and St Kilda came out and won that game, and it's a little bit crazy because I'm just watching the St Kilda game now because I'm obviously filming this on a Thursday night, and St Kilda getting trounced by Richmond. So does it say more about St Kilda? Does it say more about West Coast? I guess we'll find out tomorrow night. But like I said, West Coast have had a bit of an up and down season, but they're not doing too bad. 2 wins, 2 losses. You know, it's different from our 1 win and 3 losses. Talking about us, the form, I don't really have to tell you what our form has been like. We went down to a very, very, very young and undermanned GWS last week. We shouldn't have lost by as much as we did. I think we ended up losing by 30 points. Disappointing. Social media was in a meltdown. We'll have to pull a rabbit out of our hat. Look, the Carlton game, we played fantastic. That's the type of Collingwood play or style of play that we want to see every single week. The Brisbane game the week after, we played well for half the game, and then we let Brisbane back in, and then obviously we just ultimately couldn't hold off, and then they get that kick after the siren and win the game. Then the GWS game was I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. It was just shocking, and I don't think it was reflective of our season. It could be the rain that really messed us up as well. So of course you're going to remember the last time that we met. It was in that elimination final. The Dirty Pies. We will go over to Perth, backs against the wall. Weren't expected to win. Cox turns it on the first quarter, kicks 3 goals, and then just from there it was just an up and down seesawing affair for that entire game. You know, they kicked the last couple, and in the last quarter, you think, this is it. She's all done for. Collingwood put up a gallant fight. But we go on to hold the win by a point, and it was probably, not including grand finals, it was probably the best finals win that a Collingwood team has been involved in. It was definitely the best finals win, again, not including grand finals or grand final, that I've seen. We just pulled a rabbit out of a hat that day. We won't talk about what happened the next week, but going over to Perth, putting on a performance like we did, and the whole Dirty Pies stigma and stuff like that, it was really good to get over there and have a win. So we do play well when we're at over in Optus. Of course, that hub game, the game before that final, we got absolutely smashed. But then the game before that, we go on and win by a point. So it's very up and down at Optus, but we do like to travel. We do like to travel. So the key matchup and key areas that I want to have a look at. What is going to happen with our forward line now that Mason Cox is out? Yes, we bring Darcy Cameron in. We also brought in Mark Keane. I'll talk a little bit about those later. Does this mean that eventually throughout the game we might see Darcy Moore float forward? We've left in Bo McCreary as well, so pressure forward. We love that. 8 tackles, 7 of them last week were inside 50. So exactly what we need. He snagged the goal as well. Without Cox, it's a little bit weird. He's probably been one of our best performing forwards, since Elliott's gone down as well. Obviously, him and Myercheck are the focal points of that forward line. Darcy Cameron has had a good run of it in the VFR practice matches. So the key area of just where our goals going to come from. We know Darcy Cameron can kick goals, but Cox intimidates the Eagles, and we've seen that time and time again. Leaving him out is a little bit absurd. Maybe that means a different game plan maybe Grundy falls back into the forward line and Darcy Cameron does a lot more of the rucking, kind of like what we saw in that elimination final, but kind of maybe a little bit more of it. This would usually be the time where I talk about Brodie Grundy in the ruck and going up against Nick Nat and our midfielders and stuff like that, but we're not going to talk about that this week because I talk about it every single time, and every single time we get disappointed, and I talk about it in the review and say how it just didn't work. So we're going to skip over that. We're going to talk about a key matchup of Jordan Roughhead on old mate Josh Kennedy. Josh Kennedy has Roughhead's number. Roughhead getting older in age, so is Josh Kennedy, but it seems to me from recent memory is Kennedy loves playing on Roughhead. So it's going to be interesting. Do they kind of float Darcy Moore as that, obviously as an intercept marker, but just to help out Roughhead a little bit, because Josh Kennedy can kick 3, 4, 5 or 6, and we've seen that numerous times against us in the elimination final. I'm pretty sure he kicked 3 goals. Then you got Darling as well. So they've got a very formidable forward line. Without Liam Ryan in there, though, I want to see Isaac Quaynor and maybe Braden Maynard just let loose a little bit and give us that run that we were craving last week against the Giants. So the ins and the outs. We brought in Darcy Cameron, Mark Keane, and Finlay McRae for his debut. Finally, we've been calling for it. Play the kids, play the kids. We know what Buckley said. Finally, Finlay, left and right side. Apparently, he just uses the ball so well. And we kind of seen it in a couple of the practice matches, all the write-ups and everyone that just talks so highly of him. But coming out of the side, we've got Taylor Adams, obviously, with that knee injury. Mason Cox has been omitted. Will Hoskinelli, it says here managed, but it's because he had the baby girl. And obviously, he wants to be with his newborn daughter. And Braden Sire's been omitted as well. But that could be, for his gastro, or it could be because he's listed as an emergency. So it's not like the medical sub. There was that thing where it was like, oh, we've rotted the system, medical sub, he's not going to be able to play. He's listed as an emergency. Maybe he's the sub, but I think more likely the medical sub will be Trey Rusco. But look, just with our ins, Cox and Cameron are a like-for-like switch. Cox has a better aerial presence, but we know Cameron can kick a goal. We know he does more of the rucking than Cox does, and I don't think having Cox and Cameron in the same team really works. Mark Keane is an interesting one, because what Mark Keane can do, yes, I think he's like the Irish Darcy Moore. I absolutely rate him. Don't even think about that Fremantle game because the coaches really fucked him up that game. But I absolutely rate Mark Keane. What this would mean is that he is the Jack Madgen cover. There's been some talk on social media about that. So Madgen goes onto the wing like he did last week, and then Keane is that tall defender that Madgen would play, intercept marker, one-on-one, whatever it may be. Releases Madgen up the ground a little bit further. So I think that's why Mark Keane is in there. The conspiracy theorist in me has Mark Keane down back because they're going to chuck Darcy Moore up forward. I think they might. So I'm actually pretty confident going into this game. I know I shouldn't be, and I know I always say Collingwood don't win, but I don't know why. I'm feeling confident about this game. So I've got us winning by 17 points, and my absolute big call is Darcy Moore kicking 2 goals. But anyway, guys, this has just been my quick preview of the game. I'd love to know your thoughts down below before kickoff. Let me know them. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe. Tay family, Tay friends, Tay pairs. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.
Ooh la la.